this is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. Well, it's another cold morning here in South Carolina, and you're going to hear that a lot. I'm telling you, you're going to hear that a lot because we've got this huge storm front coming down from the north, and it is pushing all this cold air right into South Carolina. We're supposed to get some rain, and I saw maybe a little bit of snow, but we're waiting for that to hear. Listen, I'm pissed off. And I'm pissed off because we have some really corrupt politicians in the United States. If you've been following this FTX thing, I'm going to read you a little bit about the report that came out yesterday because the guy called Sam Bankman-Fried, who was the owner and the founder of this FTX, was arrested yesterday on fraud. So the way that the article reads, it's like it's going to be a good mystery because it's going to tie this fraud into a lot of different people and also into a lot of different politicians. So anyway, the founder and chief executive officer of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX has now been charged with fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and violate campaign finance laws. Now, that's a big deal. That campaign finance laws of him donating to a lot of politicians in Washington, D.C. And as I tell you, this last week I saw this picture of Representative Maxine Waters, who's in charge of the banking committee. This guy was before her committee at one point in time, and she was throwing kisses at him. Which I've got a feeling that means that some of that money probably went into a lot of politicians' bank accounts. The 8 criminal charges filed by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York on Tuesday follow civil charges brought by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission accusing the 30-year-old former billionaire of defrauding investors by building a company that was a house of cards. This is one of the biggest financial frauds in American history, says Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. He said that while only Bankman-Fried had been charged so far, he says this, we are not done, which means he's going to go after some other people. And that's why I say this fraud always has fingers that lead to other individuals participating in this fraud, especially in Congress. So on Monday, police in the Bahamas arrested Bankman-Fried after receiving formal notification from the U.S. of criminal charges against him. Bankman-Fried was denied bail Tuesday by a judge in the Bahamas after a prosecutor said he was a flight risk, a New York Times reported. Among other charges, Bankman-Fried is accused of using FTX customers' deposits to pay debts and expenses of Alameda Research, his hedge fund. The indictment also alleges that Bankman-Fried and others conspired to violate federal rules on political donations. Bankman-Fried was one of the Democrats' largest donors, but he has said he also gave to Republicans, hiding the donations as dark money. Now, listen, when you hear, right now, you're hearing this a lot, especially from various members of Congress and in the Senate. They're talking about this dark money. And Democrats are always pointing fingers at Republicans of taking dark money. Let me tell you, the biggest dark money donations go into the Democratic Party. And what is that money for? It's to buy off those members of Congress. And that's what happened with this FTX, is he was buying off all these members so that no one looked at it. No one was concerned because they were getting all of this campaign funding from this guy. This is dirty, rotten politics. And the more that I read about this and the more that I hear about it, listen, it is time that if any of these members of Congress or Senate or any politician who took money from FTX, give it back. That's dirty money. That was money taken from investors It's a fraud. It's a scam. It's dark money. So when Democrats are always pointing fingers and talking about this dark money, they are the biggest culprits of taking that money, taking that dark money. Dark money such as money coming out of Soros' operation. This guy is dirty rotten. He's putting in people that are so bad on crime because they've taken this money from Soros. And Soros says this is how he wants it run. Dark money. I'm telling you, if we don't get a handle on this dark money stuff, this nation is just going to be as dirty, rotten as any third world country. Gosh, I have had offices in third world countries. I have had to deal with these individuals that are in government. And the first thing that they want from anyone, how much am I going to get out of it? I was opening up a company in the Philippines, and I tried to do it all by myself. I tried to form the corporation, and I even filled out all the paperwork by myself. I had no help. I filled it out, took it to a paralegal. He typed it up, and I took it into the Securities and Exchange Commission of the Philippines and filed it myself. But the attorney came back and said, we can do this a lot faster if you just give us a little bit of money. Money under the table. This is how we will become, or not what we will become, but what we have become now, because we've got Madoff did the same thing. If you look at Madoff, who ripped off billions of dollars from investors, was doing the exact same thing of donating to these political campaigns. And it was dirty money. So everybody looked the other way. Everybody on these banking committees and finance committees in the United States Congress and Senate, they just looked the other way, and this fraud kept going on and on and on. Even I have to question even the United States SEC. They met with this guy months ago, but they did nothing. They just kind of looked the other way until finally people started to pop up and say, listen, there is a fraud being committed. And then they took action. But when we have millions and billions of dollars being just in suitcases given to these individuals, to these politicians, we no longer have an ethical Congress or an ethical Senate or even ethical politicians. Maxine Waters should not be on that finance committee. You don't blow kisses out to fraudsters. You don't do that. We have to take a very careful look at this as Americans because, listen, we put these people into office, and every single time that they leave office, they're worth more than what they went into the office with. If you look at AOC, she was making, $20,000, and then she went into Congress and made, $145,000? I can't remember what the salary range for a member of Congress is. But now she's worth several $million. How? How does that happen? When you're serving a nation, how does that happen that you become wealthier when you get into office? Dark money plays a very dirty role in politics. So you and I, we put these people in office, and what happens? They become very rich people, and they don't listen to your voice because you're not the one donating to them. You're not the one putting millions of dollars into their bank account. No, they listen to the people that have the money that gives them that power. Money equals power in Washington, D.C. Now, this FTX and this cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrency industry has been dirty for a long time. And I have been on my podcast over and over and over again talking about the fraud and the scammers that are out there in cryptocurrency. We had 20 people arrested in Turkey just last year because all of a sudden billions of dollars was missing from the cryptocurrency funds. We have people being charged almost on a daily basis, it seems like, on cryptocurrency fraud, money laundering, especially when it has to deal with the cartels of Mexico. They use that cryptocurrency because no one could trace it. No one knew where it was going to. I have individuals that contact me on a daily basis. Now, I have an open line that people can contact me at any time on Facebook, on Instagram. And you know what I get contacted with? People who are trying to rip me off on cryptocurrency. And it's always exactly the same storyline. They have a script that they follow. And it's the same storyline. And I know them now. And so this is what I've done. The question that they always ask, right at the very beginning of the conversation, is, oh, what do you do for a living? So now when they ask that question, I now say, well, I am a mediator on business disputes, and I am working on cryptocurrency fraud at the moment. Whammo, they're gone. They delete the whole account, they're gone. Because they know that what they're doing is a fraud. It happens to me 3 and 4 times a day. So when you have individuals out there on the internet trying to score money, illegal money, a fraud money, a scam, using cryptocurrency, because every single one of them will always say, I have an uncle that does cryptocurrency, and he is telling me that that's the best investment. It's not. It's a scam. It's a big-time scam. Cryptocurrency has been flooded with fraud for too long. It's nothing. It's not even a currency. Don't even consider it that. It's not tied to anything. It has no regulation. It has no rules. But what it does have is fraud and scammers. So you have to be very careful about it. Anybody who approaches you on the internet, either through email, I get them through email, I get them through all sorts of different places. Block them. Delete them. Don't even pay any attention to them, because they're doing nothing but fraud. They're running a scam, just like FTX was running a scam and buying billions and millions of dollars worth of real estate for himself, a private yacht, a private plane. I mean, you go on, and it is a scheme. It's a fraud. Listen, if you want to have more access to me, you can go to www.lodge-co.com. Again, that's www.lodge-co.com. I'll be more than happy to sit down with you on your business issues or on mediation issues if you're having an issue with partners or any sort of type of dispute. I'm there for you guys. Stay away from this cryptocurrency. It's nothing but a fraud. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.